For my Closing the Gap intervention, I chose to do a ninth grade academic small group at Lakeview High School. At Lakeview High School, there is a need for keeping freshmen on track towards graduation. Research shows that achievement in the first year of high school is indicative of whether or not a student will graduate. At Lakeview, 73.5% of students are on track, and currently 20 students are failing one or more classes. It's our job as school counselors to make sure that that percentage of students on track goes up every year. In order to figure out which students we'd be working with, we use data from an early warning indicator generated by the University of Chicago for the Network for College Success. The target population were 10 students from the ninth grade class who are in danger of being off track. There were a lot of students who showed up as being in danger of being off track, so the ninth grade level team chose students to work with as well, and the students who were really off track were referred to our behavioral health team, which the school counselors are also a part of. The criteria for screening students are as follows. They must be in the ninth grade class. They must be marked in yellow, which means warning on the early warning indicator. They must have no more than one F and one D from their semester 1 grade report. And they also must have a 90% attendance rate. After screening students, a needs assessment was distributed to each student electronically. This needs assessment covered the 3 domains of academics, social emotional, and college and career. I tailored lesson plans based off of the top 4 needs, which were time management, motivation, how to study better, and communicating better with teachers. So the plan was for students to meet as a small group once per week for 10 weeks, as well as individually with the group facilitator, which is me, to establish their personal weekly goals. Meeting with me individually meant we would sit down and go into Aspen to look at their grades to see what it was about the class that was bringing their grade down and what assignments they needed to turn in to boost their grade up. The 3 webcast lessons that I did for this Closing the Gap were how to focus better, so learning how to establish a study environment and discovering what their own learning style is. Motivation, accomplishing daily tasks and responsibilities, like just getting to school and doing your homework, and internal and external distractions. So being able to create an effective study and homework environment. The ASCA mindsets and behaviors that are necessary for this intervention are belief in using abilities to their fullest to achieve high quality results and outcomes, using time management, organizational and study skills, demonstrating an ability to work independently, and developing self-awareness and self-management skills to achieve school and life success. I was not able to get real data due to school closure, but the expected outcome data would be comparing each student's individual grades before the first day of group and their individual grades after the last day of group. The group goal was for 100% of the ninth grade students to not have any Ds or Fs on their quarter 3 grade report card. The hope would be for students to start filling out weekly organizers in order to keep track of their own assignments, to turn in their missing assignments by looking at grades on Aspen with me each week to see what's missing, and communicating with teachers and expressing their own needs in the classroom. So an attitude and belief for them would be that they can say, I believe asking for help when I don't understand contributes to improving my grades, and I know how to organize my time to complete assigned work, and I can pass assessments and or projects with a C or higher. So recommendations and for future implementation of this kind of Closing the Gap intervention, I would want to do increased communication with parents, especially if a student misses small group and or their individual meeting with me. In addressing any possible language barriers with students, at Lakeview High School, 70.4% of students are Hispanic, so I would want to make sure that there isn't a barrier between me and the student if they can understand what the lesson plan is asking, and increased classroom management skills during small group. So I'd want to incorporate incentives and rewards. So for example, if all 10 students meet their weekly goal for 4 consecutive weeks, then they can get a candy bar of their choosing, or they can watch a movie together in the auditorium. And this is just a list of resources that I compiled to form my Closing the Gap intervention.